Hi, Gary Fong here. I'm just going to give you a few suggestions for setting up your camera for the best creative and consistency results. Now, a lot of these cameras come out with these completely automatic settings, and those are okay probably for most purposes. However, as a professional photographer, there's certain things that you want to override to make sure that you get the best results. And so I'm going to show you some of the settings that a guy like me would use in shooting an event for the best consistency and creativity.
Okay, so I'm going to show you how to set up your Nikon camera for best results. As a professional, we like to have the most versatility as possible. So now, while you can set your camera on the complete auto mode, if you put it on program, like this is the complete auto mode here, and the auto mode just kind of does everything for you, and what I'd like to override would be the metering system and the picture styles. So we're going to go to program, the P mode up here on the dial, and then I'm going to go right here to the menu button. And then let's go through the shooting menu, and I'll just show you basically what our options would be. First of all, color space. If you're going to be printing out on a regular lab type print or going out on a computer, then pick sRGB rather than Adobe RGB. Adobe RGB is fine for systems that'll handle it, like for example inkjet printers and everything like that, but this involves having to change your monitors to work in the Adobe space. So we want to go ahead and take that. This thing keeps shutting off. To sRGB for most situations. Noise reduction, of course, on. That's best. Now, the metering system. This is very important. Choose matrix metering, not center weighted and not spot. If you choose spot or center weighted, what happens is if you happen to have something really dark or light in the middle of your image, it will override your metering and overexpose or underexpose. What matrix does is it basically calculates the entire zone of the image and gives you your most versatile results. So that's what you want to do. You want to pick matrix metering. Now, under auto distortion control, that's kind of cool if you have it on your Nikon, because what that'll do is that'll take out the barrel curvature of your wide angle lens. So that's kind of nice. It's a little thing that's kind of built in. There's software that does that, but this is kind of neat if you're just kind of on the run. Now, the last thing we want to do is, let's see, not here, but set picture control. Now, picture control, this is important to me. I like to put it on neutral. Now, I'll tell you why. Under standard, you have actually boosted color saturation and contrast. The problem with that is that if you have boosted contrast, what happens is your whites will become whiter and your darks will become darker, which means that in that situation you're going to lose some information like shadow detail or highlight detail. Like if you're a wedding photographer and you take a picture of the cake, you'll actually lose the detail in the white cake because the cake is closer to you than the subject. So typically the cameras like to augment the saturation and the color a little bit to make it look more impressive at the camera store, but neutral is best because you can always increase contrast and saturation later. Image quality, that's completely up to you. Image size, that's completely up to you. For myself, I like to make them just a little bit smaller because I know that none of my prints are going to be made into large enlargements, and it just kind of helps me with my workflow. Okay, and then that should get you going. Now, in terms of the TTL system, I just want to show this is the Nikon SB900. Basically, this is correct. It's on TTL, and you never want to go override or underride. You can go plus or minus, but we want to make this completely on zero. And so this is correct. Always shoot it on TTL, and again indoors I'm going to have it on ISO 800 because ISO 800 is going to give me much more ambient light in my backgrounds, and plus these cameras can go up to like ISO 12,000 or something ridiculous like that, and ISO 800, and if you don't believe me you can check this on any of the internet sources, on the modern cameras, say as of 4 years ago to now, is very, very low in objectionable noise, and so you gain a lot by ISO 800. You gain recycle time, you gain, you don't overheat the head like on this SB900. You got a little temperature indicator that shows when you overheat the head, and then your shots overall will just look a lot more balanced. You can use a more open aperture, which will make your photos look a lot more with the backgrounds will look a lot less in focus like it is now. You see the background this is kind of sharp, and it focuses on the main subject. So that should be your settings for your Nikon and DSLR, and that'll give you the most consistent results most of the time. Real quick too, I wanted to point out that this light right here, when you take a picture, it will just continue to glow red. If you make an error, it will blink 3 times, and typically that's for underexposure, and then you'll just want to go ahead and maybe change your ISO. But again, never touch the TTL wheel. Never touch the plus or minus override on this. Very, very not good for your results. Okay? Thanks.